9. On the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, the edict commanded by the king who was carried out. On this day, the enemies of the Jews had hoped to overpower them, but now the tables were turned and the Jews got the upper hand over those who hated them. The Jews assembled in their cities in the province of the king Darius to attack those seeking their destructions. No one could stand against them, because the people of all the other nationalities were afraid of them, and all the nobles of the provinces, and the satraps and the governors and the king's administrators helped the Jews because the fear of Mordecai had seized them. Mordecai was prominent in the palace. His reputation spread throughout the provinces, and he became more and more powerful. The Jews struck down all their enemies with the sword, killing and developing them, and they did what was pleased to those who hated them. In the state of Susa, the Jews killed and destroyed the human man. They also killed Parshadata, thereupon Absers and Portia, Ariam, Artin, and Parsha, Orsha, Ardi, and Belsa, the 10 sons of Hanan, son of Hamida, the enemy of Jews. But they did not lay their hands on the plunder. The number of Jews slain in the city of Susa was reported to the king that same day. The king said to Queen Esther, "The Jews who have killed and destroyed 500 men and the 10 sons of human in the city of Susa. What have they done in the rest of the king's province? Now what is your petition? It will be given you. What is your request? It will be also given you." "If it pleases the king," Esther answered, "give the Jews in Susa permission to carry out this day's edict tomorrow also, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged on gallows." So the king commanded them this one, and an edict was issued in Susa, and they hanged the 10 sons of Hamza, the Jewish day of the month of Adar, and they put to death of 300 men, but they did not lay their hands on the plunder. Meanwhile, the remainder of the Jews were in the king's province also assembled to protect themselves and get relief for their enemies. They killed 75,000 of them and did not lay their hands on the plunder. This happened on the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day rested and made it a day of feasting and joy. The Jews in Susa, however, had assembled on the 15th and 14th, and the 15th they rested and made in the day of feasting and joy. That is why rural Jews who living in the villages, observing the 14th of the month of Adar as a day of joy and fasting, a day for giving presents to each other. Mordecai recorded their events, and he sent letters to all the Jews throughout the provinces of King Darius, near and far. So have then celebrated annually the 14th and 15th day of the month of Adar, as the time when the Jews got relief and their enemies, and as the month day where sorrow was turned into joy, and their mourning into a day of celebration. He wrote them to observe the days of joy and feasting and joy, and giving presents to one another and gifts to the poor. So the Jews agreed and continued the celebration, and they had begun, doing what Mordecai had written to them. For Haman, son of Haniah, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had plotted against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast a pure that is a lot for their ruin and destruction. But when the plot came to the king's attention, he issued written orders that the evil scheme Haman had devised against the Jews should come back onto his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Therefore, these days were called Persia from the word of pure, because of everything written in this letter, and because of what they had seen and what has happened to them. The Jews took it upon themselves to establish the custom that they and their descendants and all who joined there should without fail observe these 2 days every year, in the way prescribed and at the time appointed. These days should be remembered and observed in every graduation and every family, and in every province of every city. And these days of Purim should never cease to be celebrated by the Jews, nor should the memory of them die out among the descendants. So Queen Esther, daughter of Abiba, along with Mordecai the Jew, word this full authority to conclude the second letter concerning Purim. And Mordecai sent letters to all the Jews in 127 provinces of the kingdom of Jairus, a word of goodwill and assurance to establish the states of Purish and the descended time, as Mordecai, the Jews, and the Queen Esther had decreed for them, and as they had established for themselves and the descendants in regard to their times of fasting and elimination. Esther's decrees confirmed their regulations about Purim, and it was written down in the record. 10. King Jairus imposed tribute throughout the empire to his distant shores, and all his acts of power and might, together with a full account of the greatness of Mordecai, who the king had raised him, are they not written in the books of the annals of the king of America and Parish? Mordecai and Jews was the second of Jews, and held in high esteem by the many fellow Jews, because he worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all Jews.